Alrighty, I think I'm officially live. I'm pretty sure there's nobody in here, but that's fine. It's because I'm late, and that is okay. Um, I do apologize. I just, life happens. Luckily, everything is okay for now. Yeah, there's just. I definitely wasn't going to be able to. Let's just say if things were not a decent turnout, you would not have been seeing me at all today. And unfortunately, YouTube has really terrible YouTube Studio software on your phone. You can't adjust anything. So you can't fix or alter times, reschedule anything. You're just pretty much stuck doing whatever as is. And I couldn't even create a post to let everybody know that I would even be delaying the stream for a couple of hours. And that does kind of hurt. So that part's frustrating, and I do hate that I've done that to some people. So, wow. Dang, thanks for showing up, you guys. Yeah, I wish it was just a pack of cigarettes. But thanks, Briscoe. I really appreciate y'all being here. Thanks. Hey, Mom. Yeah, luckily everything has worked out. So you do get to see me do a live stream today. Because I was starting to think that that might not happen at all, and it just is what it is. But obviously today I was teasing y'all for a while, and we're going to be talking about black representation in video games. Antonio Speaks made a video a couple weeks ago, and I definitely wanted to go through it. So thank you, Chantel. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all are really forgiving. Seriously though, thank y'all. So we're going to definitely talk about this video today. Hopefully y'all excited. I know it's a different topic than what I have been talking about, which there is a lot of drama when it comes to some of this other stuff. Like, I don't know how many of y'all have kept up with the whole Marianne Lorient situation, because it has been really terrible. I know I mentioned it quite a few times in my last live stream, but I don't know. I might have to just make another video on that situation by myself or something, because it's been something. But all right, we got 13 people up in here, not bad. All right, well, let's go ahead and get going. So let's go ahead and start off with Antonio Speaks' video, talking about black representation in video games.
Black representation in video games. Let's talk about it. So I've been playing video games my entire...
Once again, forgot they got music playing. Turn mine on. Yeah, there we go.
Your life. Growing up, my friends would jokingly refer to me as a game freak. And if I take a look...
Oh, sorry. To start this stream off, that's right. We're back. Again!
Entire life. Growing up, my friends would jokingly refer to me as a game freak. And if I take a look back, I kind of did fit that description. It all started with the PlayStation 2 to me. My older brother had this console, and looking up to him, I played all the...
All right, since y'all are asking questions, let me go ahead and address them. So since it's Random University, are you professors? I mean... I thought I was professor, even though I can't teach every class, so I guess that means technically I'd have to have some staff at some point in time. So I thought y'all were more or less students, but y'all are pretty informative, so I think there's spots on the staff that we can make this work. What's up, Malik? Let me see. Good to see you. I don't even know if I've seen you really comment on my videos. Either way, welcome. Glad to see you. I can't believe we actually have 18 people in here. Well, let's go ahead and keep on going with this topic.
Games that he did. GTA San Andreas, Def Jam Fight for New York, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw, and pretty much all of the NFL and NBA Street titles. Surprisingly, these games had very high black representation. This was my first introduction to gaming, so I thought it was the norm. Now fast forward to December 25th, 2011, I got my hands on my very own PlayStation 3. Growing up with siblings, man, y'all do not understand how annoying it is having to share a console. So when I got my own, I was happy as hell. This is where...
Okay, I can relate heaviest to what Antonio is talking about here when it comes to sharing consoles and splitting consoles. I was one who was very fortunate. I didn't necessarily have to split or share my consoles, but when I was living with my cousins, which we ended up living with each other for like most of our lives, we kind of did split the console mostly because we were splitting the television. You know, we didn't have multiple TVs to play off of, so that was quite the dynamic, but you just get used to actually watching other people play video games, which I think is how watching other individuals play video games became such a phenomenon when people started live streaming and whatnot, because really it became just a new way of watching somebody else play, just like you did back in the day. And sometimes you get used to their personality when they're streaming, they talk to you, they engage. And I can understand why people actually would get into watching other people play games. I used to wonder how people could do that as adults, but then I watched a few of them and I was like, I get it. Especially if it's a game that, you know, has a lot of nostalgia for you growing up. Like when it talks about black representation in video games for him, like, or here in general, obviously most of us were in like sports games. That's where our representation lied. Now, we also had some in some other spots, but I'm gonna let them get into it a little bit more. But I definitely relate to the sharing consoles.
Where my love of gaming really grew, and I also started to expand my category of the games I was playing. As I started dibbling and dabbling into different games, I started noticing something. It's not a lot of niggas in these titles. Now today we're gonna be doing a dive into black representation in video games. I'm going to be addressing the lack of representation, how it can be better, and also titles where I liked how black people were represented in these games. I wanna go ahead and clarify this like I do in every video. If you are one of those people that use the sentiment, it's not that deep, go ahead and click off my video, bro. We get deep over here, okay? Pause. But look, no more talking. I hope y'all enjoy this, man. Let's get into it. Black protagonists in video games are rare. Under 5% of major AAA games have a black lead. Historically, since the dawn of gaming, there has always been a white male lead with a gun. Master Chief from Halo, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, Joel from Last of Us. The examples are endless, and we can literally go on and on listing these people off. I've played pretty much all of these games and loved them. Despite the race of anything, I've always valued art, TV shows, movies, books, gaming. But on the other hand, I love me some black representation. Sad thing is though, man, the same cannot be said for others. Because in 2026, just the thought of a non-white male lead will get labeled as woke or DEI hire, some lame bullshit. Now to start this video, I want to talk about some black protagonists that I've played and I come across. CJ from San Andreas is probably the most notable. Releasing in 2004 and selling over 27 million copies, this game was a hit. The way y'all see it, y'all know I gotta get deep. CJ represents the struggle of black American youth in inner city America. We see him deal with gang violence, drug dealing, police corruption, and broken families. Something that black people in inner cities can most definitely relate to. Now the story follows him returning back home after his mother was gunned down in a shooting. His father is never mentioned in the story, and you know, y'all know me, I add that to the notes. This is a stereotype of
Okay, we can add, wait, let him finish.
black people. They think a lot of us don't have dads or are.
I hate to say it, but a lot of people in CJ's situation didn't have dads. That part felt very relatable. The issue with black representation in video games is that mostly it's white people that make these video games. So for me personally, I don't really expect them to actually create a lot of black characters. Would I like to see them? Yes, that would be great. But I also don't know if I trust them with the responsibility of actually creating some of these characters, because as you've seen how they write people on television, it doesn't always come out to be the most black. It doesn't always show up as the best representation. That's how we end up so stereotyped. There are actually, they used to teach people, I don't know if they probably still do it now. They actually teach black people as actors how to be black in film, which is absurd, which lets you know they have always created this stereotype of what blackness always is, and they wanted to keep it going for years on years and generations on generations. But obviously people have woken up and people have become very aware that, well, blacks aren't just one type of way, and that we can be very nuanced, a la like the Carmichaels and Rugrats, a very civilized family that people don't ever talk about. But yes, that is true black representation. That is a normal black household. But most people will get it confused for people like CJ and San Andreas.
Dads are in jail or they're dead, you know? It is the case for some individuals, but not all of us. I can just imagine, you know, a young white kid playing this game that has never interacted with black folks, seeing this and thinking, they all are like this, you know? That's why I just kind of say, you gotta be intentional when you write these characters. To be fair, I don't think Rockstar had this in mind. Just even at this time, in 2004, making a black person your lead, that's crazy. Even though CJ wasn't written the best, I love his character and we all can appreciate him. Now, my next example is a character in a game you probably never heard of. Marcus Reed in the game game True Crime New York. Now this game wasn't that popular. It released back in 2005, and by December of that year, it sold 348,000 copies. This was a flop in Activision's eyes, but numbers never tell the true story. This game was amazing, and the lead was even better. This game stars Marcus Reed, a former gangster turned NYPD officer. He works his way up and eventually is promoted to organized crime unit. The story follows him as he investigates multiple crime organizations. Now what makes this game very interesting is you can play as a good cop or a bad cop. We can see how Marcus uses a mix of, his street smarts and his trained police background to get the job done. There are even 2 different endings to this game. But
this dude stomped the absolute piss out of that guy. I mean, he absolutely stomped him right in the face. Those games were so brutal back in the day. Like, I miss very nostalgic games like that. Like, games now look so realistic, it almost takes you out of the immersion. You just almost can't fall as far into it sometimes, I feel like, as you could in the past. Because a lot of games now are a lot of rinse and repeat, a lot of cinematic action, but not much gameplay. Or sometimes there's some gimmicky gameplay things that are really good. But I don't know, man. I really do miss some of those old classic PS2 and PS3 games, which, I mean, it's not like you still can't play them. I mean, if you got a PlayStation, account, then you can pretty much go get any of those games and play them still. So it's not like access to those games have been completely shut off. But black representation in video games has changed to the point that if you see a black person, the game is woke. And that is very frustrating. But it also comes down to, like, these people don't really know how to write black people sometimes.
But it all depends on how you play, being a good or bad cop. This game deserves its flowers. And I don't know what caused it to do bad. Maybe it wasn't promoted as good, or maybe people didn't want to play as a black character. I don't know. Now let's talk about one of the most loved black.
No, he's right. Some people flat out just did not want to play as a black character. It's sort of like the argument where I talk about with Star Wars and some of these other crazy IPs where obviously the majority of the audience is white. There's a good segment of that audience that simply doesn't care. They just want good stories and they want it to be told the way it makes sense. And then some of them just don't care about it as long as it stays white, they'll be okay. There's plenty of them. It's just like the people. It's really no different than MAGA. I mean, honestly, you can tell who those people vote for. Illogic, you didn't miss anything. I literally just started like a few minutes ago because it's been a weird last day or so. But yeah, I wasn't even going to stream at one point in time, but I decided to stream anyway since things luckily have worked out for now. So, and I didn't want to leave people hanging. Lost track of my point. Let's keep going.
Protagonist Lee Everett from the Walking Dead Telltale series, specifically
the GOAT. The GOAT is Lee Everett. Now, okay. How many of y'all play? Please put a 1 in the chat if you've even played Telltales or if you at least know who Lee Everett is. If you don't, then we can listen to some of the explanation because this guy truly is one of the greatest characters I think that has existed in video games, period. It doesn't matter about race, ethnicity, color, religion, any of that. This dude is one of the best characters I've ever played as. Even though the game was basically a storytelling game, he's still one of the greatest characters.
Season 1. He is a deep character with a, kind of troubled past. The game starts off with him in the back of a police car after being convicted of murder. I don't know, y'all. Is that playing into the angry black man trophy going to jail? Okay, let me chill. It turns out he murdered a state senator who was sleeping with his wife. While being transported to a prison, a zombie apocalypse breaks out. Throughout the game, we see Lee develop his survival skills. He's learning how to make better moral choices and also becomes a great leader. What we all adore about him the most, though, is his relationship with Clementine. Now, Lee is introduced to Clementine when she's about 8 or 9 years old. She was separated from her parents because of this whole zombie apocalypse. Lee takes her under his wing and they end up forming a father-daughter bond. Lee goes from a person who is, extremely flawed, ashamed of his past, feeling guilty, so by the end of the game, man, a protector, a great leader, and an overall loved person. I don't want to spoil the story, man. Just know I'm a real nigga and I don't cry. But at the end of that season, a real nigga shed a tear, all right? Black male.
Okay, so when I finished Telltale, I think a lot of people can relate to Antonio's plight when it comes to shedding tears at the end of the first Telltale's The Walking Dead. I don't usually get emotional playing video games at all, or movies sometimes, depending on what it is. But that broke me. The end of Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1, it broke me. I boo-hooed as if I lost the closest person in my life. Lee was really that. The story is unbelievable. It really is. Like you talk about, that's great black representation in video games. That's just great story writing, which is also an issue with games nowadays in general. It doesn't matter who the main protagonist is. A lot of this stuff just ain't good because writing is bad, storytelling is bad, and a lot of it is repeated. A lot of these people have lost their creativity. They don't seem to know how to get back into their bag and create original stories. I know most things have already been done and already been copied and done again, a la like Resident Evil, but Resident Evil finds a way to keep topping itself. Pause. But I haven't got to play RE9 Requiem yet, and I will definitely be doing that tomorrow, whenever it comes out. I'm very excited about that. But those games are just great video games. And if you have good story and you also have some great gameplay dynamics to go with it, you can actually have a great game. I don't think the downfall of gaming is the fact that games have went woke and they put women in them and they put blacks in them and they done put gays in them. I don't think that's what's making games bad, which is another argument that's outside of this video. But I don't think he mentions Barrett Wallace from Final Fantasy VII. But that is, to me, the closest thing to Lee Everett that I will find in any other game. I'm not getting it on PC. Logics. I'm getting it on, I already got it ordered on PS5. But I can always hook up my PS5 to my, PC if I want to. I might do that. We'll see. I might stream that because I really do want to play RE Live. I really want to do that and let some people see. But Barrett Wallace is, to me, like, if it's not Lee, it's Barrett. As some of the best character writing that you can possibly have, especially for a black person in a game. Because the thing about Barrett Wallace is Barrett was supposed to be basically like Mr. T, in case people couldn't notice. Like, they had him as a stereotype archetype, but when they actually wrote out the character, they fleshed him out to be a really deep character. And honestly, he's probably got the most depth of anybody in Final Fantasy VII character-wise. Even with Cloud, a lot of Cloud's depth goes down to the fact that he basically stole his dead best friend's identity and became him. That's where most of his story comes from. Cloud was pretty boring. You know what I'm saying? I love Cloud, but he still was pretty boring. Barrett's story was the best. It was the most gut-wrenching, the most heart-wrenching. And first of all, it involved a lot of murder, too. And it really felt like something that was realistic.
Leads are rare in gaming, but you want to know what's even more rare? Black woman leads. The most notable character for this is Clementine from The Walking Dead. We just discussed her. There are many discussions surrounding her race, and it is kind of troublesome. To me, she looks racially ambiguous, and what you notice is that within media, they always try to frame a light-skinned person or someone of mixed descent as the standout for the entire race. This is a problem.
Man, that is absolute cap. The only place I see that is in Tyler Perry movies. I do not see that in video games. Barrett was dark. Lee was dark. So he's basing this on just Clementine alone? Like, you can go through a list. Sheva from RE5, she was dark. Hell, she was straight up from Africa. There was no light skins there. Like, I kind of get where he's going with this argument, but Antonio does get to the point where he starts stretching these a little bit. He does start stretching and try to find even more race to like dig into, which is fine. Like, I'm all for the pro-blackness, but sometimes it does feel like you're reaching quite a bit and it's unnecessary.
Because black people such as myself are even darker than me, especially.
I see you listed Forspoken. Forspoken is also another one where, so the chick who played the girl in Forspoken was also in the Resident Evil live action series on Netflix, a series that completely bombed and sucked absolute balls. Now, I really wish that series was better because it had a lot of potential. Hell, Black Albert Wesker, Lance, who played, R.I.P. to Lance, who got to play Wesker, he was actually the best part of the series. And a lot of people thought it was going to be goofy at first, and I thought it was going to be too, but he was great as Albert Wesker. The thing is, he actually sold you could play Albert Wesker as a black guy. Like, that was crazy. I didn't think he could pull it off, but he did. But the problem is, the main chick who played the main character in that series, who's the same character as a Forspoken, they wrote her terribly. She has some of the worst personality traits you can possibly imagine. Self-centered, bitter, angry, stupid, not rational, emotional. It was just really frustrating to watch her interact because a lot of the decisions that she made and her sister made were all wrong. None of it made any sense. It was really dumb.
especially my black women, it's like I appreciate the representation, but it's not true. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why they made Clementine look like this when there is a photo of her parents, right? She has a black mom and black dad. I think they're fully black, but somehow Clementine, she looked Blasian, right? She like you have a full Asian parent. But anyway, man, she's black. She got two black parents. In the series, man,
Yes, she does have two black parents. I know Antonio seems to be awfully confused by how or why she's so yellow, considering that her dad was dark and her mom was yellow. Well, that is exactly what my life is. Now, my dad at one point in time was a little bit lighter than what he is like currently, but like he was mostly a darker skinned black guy. And then my mom, light skinned. I turned out light skinned. So our family photo looks a lot like Clementine's did.
we see her grow from a scared young girl to an absolute beast. You know what I'm saying? So Clementine, she's goated, and I love her. So yeah. Now, a recent example that portrays black women in the best.
Sorry to keep cutting this off. I'm just curious as what y'all saying. So the cherry picking like bothers you, Logic. So which part? Because I think I get what you're saying. It's just like, are you talking about like specific parts of his argument where race matters, or what he points out? Because I don't know. Just leave that out there.
Light in video gaming to me, and we probably have never seen a greater representation of us in general in video gaming. Hazel in the game South of the Midnight, released last year in 2025. You play as Hazel Flood, a young woman in a magical southern gothic version of the American Deep South after her hometown was devastated by a hurricane. Now Hazel discovers that she's a weaver. You ask what a weaver is? Let me explain. It's someone who can see and manipulate mythical threads that bind reality together. Now the story centers around her finding her mom and healing fractured spirits and places by confronting supernatural beings. I love Hazel, man. She is very well-rounded. She's not stereotypical in no type of way, and I couldn't complain less. There are also many cultural references in this game, specifically for all my black Americans that live in Louisiana. Man, as a community, bro, when this game came out, a lot of black people, we came together and we love this shit, bro, because we never get this type of representation in
character into a video game, and like it's an action combat game. If it's a female character, she better have huge tits. And if she doesn't, you're doing something wrong. Like, I'm sorry.
Okay, so all Asmongold is speaking to is himself and his fans and other white guys who hate having any other minorities or any other representation in video games. But first of all, this isn't shocking because it's Asmongold. The thing that bothers me about Antonio is he'll use somebody like Asmongold as his example. Like, it's no duh. No duh. We need to find other examples of people who feel this way, and there's a lot of them out there. Hell, what was his name? Ranting or raging against, or vengeance against rape. I mean, I don't know, the redheaded kid who's nothing but a big racist that sits out there and is in the opposite room of his father, who's in another room out there spitting out the same racist jargon that he does. It's kind of crazy. Like a father-son duo live in the exact same house, and all they do is just spew bigotry everywhere. It's kind of wild. But he was cherry-picking the shades he wanted to discuss to make a point, and then he called it South of Midnight. There's the... Yeah, I get what you're saying. It is pretty shallow.
Sorry, because the people that play those games are gooners and guys, and that's what they want to see. You don't give it to them, well, that's fine. They don't give you their money. And this is the problem, is like as soon as studios realize this and they start like listening to players rather than like assuming that, you know, players don't know what they want or like some bullshit, then we'll actually see big changes happen and we'll see things improve. But it's going to take a while, right?
That white narcissism is real. If it doesn't center these folks, then it's a problem. It's just sad that in 2026, us wanting to be seen more is a problem and will make some folks uncomfortable. Even though all of media throughout all of time, you know, in America has been centered around white folks, man, and it's like, golly, bro, y'all complain too damn much. In 2026, my motto is simple. If a game doesn't offer solid, customizable, black features, I'm not buying it. Games claim to have the most diverse customization ever, but can't even get the bare minimum down pat. I don't know about y'all, but I like putting myself into video games. This helps with the immersion. Like, if I can see myself in the character, I'ma like it more. Simple. This is a problem that is bigger than...
Okay, which is the argument for both sides? Can y'all hear me? Somebody says no sound. Which is the argument for both sides? Everybody who plays a game would love to see themselves represented in a game, which is why these RPGs, like whether it's Baldur's Gate or Mass Effect or anything that you got this full-blown customization, Diablo, you're going to get to customize a lot of your character. Fallout, because then you get to actually immerse yourself in the game. It does matter. It does mean something. But it does get irritating, I know, over time that a lot of white people can't simply just suck it up for one video game that has a black character in it. So, like, if Resident Evil made a 10th game, and all of a sudden the protagonist is black, a lot of people all of a sudden going to be pissed off. Didn't matter that in the previous 9 titles, we were nowhere to be found. Even though they did write in a black character for the first Resident Evil, he didn't get to be used. He was supposed to be some Eddie Murphy type of character where his name was Dewey. I want to know what Dewey's story is. How about we write that one? You know what I'm saying? And then play that game. And somebody's going to be still pissed off. Even though it's Resident Evil, gameplay could be utterly badass. Story can be better than the previous 9 games. Won't matter. Some of them simply won't play it because they didn't get to be themselves in the game. Now, obviously, as black people, we just had to suck it up and just deal with it, whatever. Now, and I understand that's why a lot of us have gripes when these people start bitching. It's like, dude, we've been playing y'all's games since the beginning. And we just had to deal with that and be happy with it. What if we weren't? And also, I get it. Most of them are making them. So yeah, they put themselves in it. And then when they try to put us in it, again, like I said earlier, they don't do a good job of writing us into the game. And so that does get frustrating. So would I rather play a game that has a white character that actually has a realistic and better story? Or would I rather play a game that has a black guy in it that's written like shit, stereotypical, terrible? But the story might still be badass. Who knows? I don't know. It's kind of a hard argument. I think I'll still go with a black character though.
Gaming though, the entire world is whitewashed. You know, your essential features are put on a pedestal and everything else is seen as lesser. Lighter skin, smaller noses, straighter hair. Speaking of hair, if I see this shit
Absolute facts. This haircut is, you know what? I know he says it.
Don't make me mad, bro. Do not make me mad. Nobody in real life rocks this fucking hairstyle. Killmonger has did irreversible damage to these white developers. I promise y'all, we don't like this shit. And even just the texture, we never see this shit represented in the best way. I think this is a big reason why a lot of black people cater more towards sports games. 2K, for example, man, their customization is, you know, it's top notch. We got the black hairstyles, you got the black clothes, you got the culture. Like, we don't see this in other games. I love Elden Ring. I played it for the first time a few months ago, and I love the game. But when I was creating my character, I could not make myself look like me. It was like, you know.
Okay, first of all, is this Antonio trying to make himself Antonio? Hey, dude, Antonio looks like a woman here. Like, he wasn't doing a very good job with this customization. These skin features, he might want to rough him up a little bit. Like, Antonio, this looks like Antoinette. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. This doesn't look like you. I get that you probably tried and you failed miserably here, but god damn, bro. I mean, that just sounds awful. But yes, it's the fact that nobody has Killmonger's haircut. I've never seen one person in reality have that haircut. I've never seen anybody with their dreads swoop to the side like that. It seems like it was a cool sci-fi haircut. But then they put it in every freaking, like, iteration of black entertainment. Like, that's on television. Even in The Acolyte, which is probably why it freaking failed. You can't have this haircut. Nobody rocks that shit.
Character, I could not make myself look like me. It was like, you know, I felt like I didn't belong there. But there are games that did it right, and I want to highlight them.
These motherfuckers at Robert Space Industries done did it. Star Citizen is not a scam. Cloud Imperium Games. Look, they did it. Look at the 4C. Look at the naps, nigga. Granted.
Hey, see, Logic's other people use the word naps. Where's Jew? I need Jew here. Because Jew got pissed off. He's like, man, I don't like them calling it naps. Man, from the South, we say naps and nappy from time to time. We don't mean any disrespect. It's just kind of one of those things we say. And yes, Michonne from The Walking Dead, truly one of the greatest characters written. Like, when they do black characters right, people remember that character a lot. The problem is that we're just not written very well a lot of times. Or sometimes we're just not involved in the game. Like, that is frustrating that you don't see any representation, which is why Final Fantasy VII is the best Final Fantasy VII. I mean, Final Fantasy period, because they had the black guy. And he had a great story. I mean, it's just the bottom line. Now, I get there was another one, I think, in 13. But come on now. Nah, that don't count. He was stereotypical. They gave him the fro, and he had a lot of bit extra antics. He didn't feel like he had as much depth as Barrett did.
Lineups in the year 3000 something is trash. Of course they had
Oh.
to give us the fucking Killmonger. Got a nigga looking like Big Sean in this bitch. The locks is kinda ass, but they're doing the best they can. Another billion-dollar company done did it. 1 nigga, 2 nigga, 3 nigga, 4 nigga, 5 nigga, 6 pre-made niggas ready to go. No shit about no wiggin' wealth, but niggin' wealth must be what they use for their hair. The naps are napping. The fades are cleaner. We all know that one nigga that got cornrows and shouldn't have gotten them. But this ain't him. Hogwarts Legacy.
Hey man, I know a guy who looks just like this character. Like I know these people. Like I saw these people in middle school. I know you saw them too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going on?
Rose and shouldn't have gotten them. But this ain't him. Hogwarts Legacy gave us beautiful natural designs. Look at that.
Okay, these characters look like they would be in Hogwarts. Like these blacks look like they would be at Hogwarts. Now I know that these are actually like real black haircuts and real black facial features. Like these actually look like brothers and sisters. Thank God. Like this is a great game, by the way. Like the Harry Potter game is truly amazing. So if you haven't played it, I definitely recommend it. I mean, it is a truly great game to go play. And like you can turn yourself into a true badass in that one. Sound check for some. Drop one if you can hear. Can y'all hear? I did like lose connection. It looked like OBS disconnected for like half a second. But can y'all hear me? It looks like y'all can.
She looking at me right now like you see the baby hairs, nigga.
That's my little rant. Y'all know I make everything deep. If you're not black, you may think I'm tripping, but just put yourself in our shoes. If you grew up watching everything being the opposite of you, you never see any representation, and then the little representation you see is flawed and also critiqued heavily. You like, you kind of feel like y'all get it. If you are a dev, you know what I'm saying, a white dev watching this video, the research is out there, okay? You can, or hire some black people to be on your team. It's not hard, bro. It's 2026. Y'all can make it happen. I promise you, man. We love a variety of games, but we also gotta feel represented in it. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. If y'all want to see something similar,
well, shout out to Antonio. You know, everybody reviews Antonio's channel and his videos quite a bit. You know what I found funny about Antonio's channel? You know, you got Antonio Speaks, you got Antonio Talks. And I've heard some discussion about some people thinking that Antonio might be a psyop. He is an industry plant. I've heard that talk. Also been, heard he was called a tether as well. But all that just seems like it's a little bit crazy. But I will say, Blackie Speaks has been on YouTube for quite some time. And Blackie be spitting. I want to know why Blackie didn't have this come up. Makes me wonder. Very similar names. Why didn't his blow up? But I do think he has some points when it comes to the black representation in games. We just don't have a lot of characters in the games. And honestly, I think ultimately a lot of us just get frustrated by hearing like white people complain. And, they're going to be the most racist people in the chat room for absolutely no reason when none of the black people or none of the minorities ever said anything to them to piss them off. But they will come out there just trying to agitate because they're just like that. And then the second they see some color in the video game, all of a sudden the entire company needs to be nuked. I don't understand that logic. I don't understand what that level of hate comes from, but it is pretty sad and pathetic. Now, I understand that the games are terrible, but the fact that people just refuse to pick up a title because it has... Hold on. I think, does Blackie have 1 million subs now? It felt like it took him a while to like explode, but he's been around for a while. But the whole thing about this is, we need we need more black representation in games. I would like to see it. Even though we get more characters now than we used to in the past, it still ain't enough. I do need to play the Alan Wake 2 game and see what's going on there. I definitely need to do that. But let's go through some of these comments. I'm curious as to what some of y'all are saying. Shout out to all y'all that's in the chat. I can't believe we have over 50 people in here, and I started like 2 hours late. Like, I thank y'all so much. I ain't here for the ingest. Y'all are silly. Garuda. Which dude are you talking about, Garuda? Let me see here. I think he's got 1 million. I can't say it. Oh, y'all talking about Blackie Speaks? Who's anti-black now? Am I losing something? I missed something. Who cooned up? Alan Wake 2 is good? Okay, I need to definitely play it. Look, there's a lot of black characters that are great. I feel like the few times they put black characters in games, they work out really good. Sometimes it's not so great because you don't necessarily like how they're written. But overall, I think when they do put them in, it ain't too bad. I'd just like to see more numbers. Blackie is anti-black now? Bruh. Oh, man. That's so sad. I haven't listened to Blackie speak in a long time, but tragic. I mean, I wasn't like all in on his channel like that, but still, that's frustrating. Shout out to Draco for the $5 super chat. The dudes on the Pepstein list got less hate than Yasuke from Assassin's Creed. Yes. Yes, they did. That's facts. Absolute facts. Dude, and the thing is, Yasuke is a real person. He is part of actual Japanese mythology. And people are like, oh, no, there's impossible. You can't have no black samurai. That's only Afro samurai, and that was an anime. Guess what? Some of this shit is actually based out of reality. Some of this stuff is actually real. Like, once again, some of these white people, some of them have woke up already. I actually got a lot of white friends who are pretty aware of like how the world was created and how things started. But a lot of these people's entire foundation mentally would just completely fall apart if they ever woke up to the reality that blacks were first. Now, I used to make a joke a long time ago talking about, well, if we were the first people, how the hell did we end up in this situation? But that was just like a joke. Overall, yes, history has proven that we were the first people here. And then obviously some things transpired over time that I can't answer and many of us probably don't know. But it led to some effed up stuff and led to somehow us being in this situation. But history around this country has already been proven. Blacks were here. Native Americans were here. And it wasn't just like the Indian Native Americans. It was black people. They were Negroes with feathers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw that stuff. It was crazy. Like, to see the actual, like, sculptures and the paintings and all the art and stuff from back in the day that still exists, it still exists. I don't know if it exists now under this new regime. They probably done burnt that museum that had all the preserved studies from the previous history of America, but probably got rid of that. But I mean, this video has been all over the place. Honestly, this live, I might not even be able to chop it up, to be real. This is just for us to have fun. Dude, I can't. Yeah, I saw that Crank Lucas is apparently just, he cooned up too. Tragic. Just tragic. I mean, dude, I'm telling you. Look, me, Logix, Watts, Jew, if y'all see us beefing, and if you see some of us absolutely just selling all the way out, then just know it's a facade. Just know it's a joke. We will be back, but just let us get the bag, man. Like, some of us just want to have a year where we can just really, really hammer out some sellout content and then just break our own bank accounts. Yeah, I know, that's real sad. Crank, dude, like, I like this commentary. This dude actually was really funny. Pro-black, it felt like. Now he's just, worship thy white man, I guess. I don't know. Damn, dude. It's crazy. Because, I mean, it's just nuts. Shout out to Just the Whole Mess with the $5 super chat. Shout out Random Logics and, of course, Jew and Watts. Y'all should check out, man, all these spelling errors. Y'all should check out because we are there looking for guests for Black Jeopardy. Oh, dude, I would fail at Jeopardy. I would definitely fail at Jeopardy. No good. I'm not that smart. I'm really good in, like, situations. I'm also really good randomly under pressure, but I'm not that intelligent. I'm kind of stupid. I also had somebody call me out the other day, which is kind of funny. I mean, I ended up subbing to his channel, even though he said I was exposed and I was a fraud. But I truly believe in killing people with kindness. I think that's the best way to go. Who's y'all's favorite black character in any video game? I am curious, though. Please leave that in the chat. Just the whole bad look. I'm not gonna say anything, but we might have to open some new courses out here. Bro, Andro, I'm making a video on that. I'm going to make a video on that whole, androgenic situation. Got his wig snatched off and lost his mind. Absolutely blew his lid. Well, I guess like he blew his wig. But still, he lost it. That shit was so funny. How he crashed out on those chicks in the video that I was talking about, it was way worse. He was immediately about to assault that dude. Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow! Okay, I'll give you Shadow. Who said Kratos was black? Look, man, I'm okay with giving you Kratos, but Kratos is... I see a white guy when I see Kratos, man. I'm sorry, I do. Either that or maybe I could see him being like what Robert Saleh is, you know, the new head coach for the Titans, you know, but with bigger facial structure. I don't see brother in there. I know he's bald and maybe you can paint him up like that, but Barrett and Lee are mine. Barrett and Lee are my two favorite. There's probably another one out there. If I'm talking about just like stories in general, I had to add Storm. I had to throw Storm in there. Because in Mass Effect, which eventually I'll probably show y'all some of my playthroughs in these video games at some point in time. My main character, like I played the game in both sexes. So I played it as a guy first and then I played it as a female. Dude, playing it as a woman is really weird. And not really weird, but it's really interesting. You get a lot of dialogue options that... Dude, playing Mass Effect as a woman is crazy. It's actually, I think it's better. it's a better playthrough. Her name was Storm Shepard, but by the end of the third game, she was Whore Shepard because she was getting around that ship. It was effed up, but man, it's a video game. Might as well have fun, I guess. Oh, Lincoln Clay from Mafia 3. Okay. Fallout. Mace Windu. Okay, I see you guys. Hey, Mace Windu is a good one. Mace Windu is a good one. Oh, Logics, I'm telling you, if you play Mass Effect as a woman, dude, you need to get through that playthrough. You need to get through that playthrough. And honestly, when I played through it as a chick, I played through it as an adept. You know, I actually did just the basic powers. Like, she didn't have guns. I had a pistol and a sniper rifle by the fourth game, or third game. That was it. Okay, so CJ from San Andreas. I feel like a lot of us would pick a lot of the same ones because they are kind of like iconic. Honestly, I can't leave out Clementine. Lee and Clementine are pretty much like right there, hand in hand, and then Barrett. So, and then your version of Commander Shepard. If I want to go customizable characters, yeah, I'd have to say my version of Commander Shepard too. Yeah, I could do that. This next video I'm going to go to is from Poncho, another content creator who I've seen his videos from time to time. And y'all have to have seen this guy. Have any of y'all seen this person's face? How about before I start this next video, we go ahead and hash out before this comment section gets out of control. So I'll go ahead. Oh shit, not yet. Pause, homie. Yeah, I agree with you, Draco. I really like what they did with Barrett in Rebirth. And I'm still dying for the third Final Fantasy game to come out. I don't know what they're going to call it, but I am literally dying for it to come out. I need it soon. But yeah, I really love what they did with Barrett. A lot of people weren't really happy with it somehow, but a lot of people were just bitching about Rebirth because Aerith is dead or not dead. She's dead. I don't care what anybody says. She gone. Like, I don't get why people don't want something to be a little bit different. I don't want to relive Final Fantasy VII again. I just don't. There's no need for me to do that. I've already experienced that one more time. The original game is perfectly fine. I want a new experience, which is what I'm getting with Rebirth. He was, though. He was acting his ass off. Exactly. Rebirth was awesome. It was a great game. Yes, I believe the same thing, dude. Rebirth is a great game. A lot of people were flat out tripping when it came to Rebirth. It's a great video game. And it's long. Hell, I still ain't got everything in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go back right now. I still got plenty of stuff to go grinding. I mean, I could play just a fighting simulator for hours. For hours. But let's go ahead and start this video with Lord Babylon here. I think y'all will find this very funny.
I will not give up my seat for any woman. Good for you. Today we're taking a look at a dating coach that I found on TikTok, and before I even show his account, I want to make it clear that I don't want any of y'all to flock over to his account to bully or troll him. The point of this video is to be honest, not to troll or bully. Anyways, his name is Lord Babylon. Yes, that's his actual name. His bio says, "You're welcome." Shit, bro, you haven't even done anything for me yet. Also, why'd you put it in all caps? Just relax, bro. Anyways, we're gonna take a look at some of Lord Babylon's videos to see what wisdom he can teach us about dating. A lot of his videos are tagged with hashtag dating advice for men. So I'm hoping that Lord Babylon can kick some game over. He can give me a lesson or two about dating. You know, I don't want to waste any more time. Let's go to class.
Never trust a man that wears pink shorts. The moment I see a guy wearing pink shorts, it screams feminized, beta male, castrated. You know the deal.
No, I'm afraid I don't. What's the deal? So immediately, we're not off to the best start. Starting to wonder if he even knows anything about dating. Immediately off.
I would say no. I think the closest thing he got to smashing was an AI chick that he got off of Grok. He looks like he'd be best friends with EDP. I think that's who he would hang out with in his meantime.
He's like, you're feminized, you're castrated, and what else did he say?
Beta male.
You're a beta male if you wear pink shorts. Genuine question. Who the fuck is using the word beta male in 2026? Also, Lord,
You'll be surprised how many, Pancho. They're still out there. There's still plenty of alpha males. Hell, you're covering one right now. That lets you know that there's still plenty of them out there talking about betas and cocks and weak, feminized men. Whatever. It's somewhat of an epidemic, but it just is. The people who are the biggest bitches as dudes are the people calling everybody feminized.
Babylon, I'll have you know, my balls aren't castrated at all, and I love wearing my pink shorts.
Never trust a man that wears pink shorts.
Never trust a man who doesn't blink.
What's the problem with pink shorts, bro? I'm wearing my pink.
Okay, Pancho, those aren't, that's not pink shorts. That has pink in them. Like, I actually have a pair of, I don't think I have pink. I got like yellow shorts. But there's also a point to, like, it depends on the shorts. Like, are these short shorts? Are you wearing Daisy Dukes hot pants? Are you showing off your ass, or you just got shorts on? Because there's a difference between wearing booty shorts and just wearing shorts.
Shorts right now, y'all. I guess that means I'm feminized, castrated, and what else did he say? A beta male. I'm a beta male, y'all. Nah, but I want to take a second to talk about his claims, because they're silly as fuck. Wearing a specific type of clothing does not change your femininity or masculinity at all. At all. If anything, it highlights the trait that you already have. For example, if you put like some random ripped fucker in a dress, he's not gonna look feminized. It's just gonna look like a buff dude in a dress. Like, he's still gonna look relatively masculine. I don't even want to know what Lord Babylon would have to say about a man in a dress. He's probably got some thoughts on it though. But about what Lord Babylon was saying about pink shorts, if a man's comfortable in his masculinity, he's gonna be okay with wearing pink shorts. Sure, you could argue that pink shorts are a little feminine, but who cares?
You're right. You're right. It has to be exhausting to think like this every day. Do you not remember the alpha male from like months ago who couldn't like sit down in a chair without thinking about it? He had to teach people the proper way of sitting down, how to carry a suitcase, how to pick up a bag. And every time they did something, it looked like they were going to shit their pants or they were going to split the seams because they were all so stiff. Apparently, to be masculine is to not move, to be stiff. Stoic means stiff. It just means be frozen in frame. It doesn't make a lick of sense. All these people have no personality, and they expect people to want to hang out with them. Well, I'm alpha. That doesn't mean you're cool. You can be alpha all day long, you're boring. You can be alpha all day long, you're dumb. You can be alpha all day long, you have no skills. You're untalented.
Literally, who cares? To Lord Babylon, I'd ask, why does a man with a slightly feminized style or apparel scare you to the point where you can't trust him? Lord Babylon started the video with, never trust a man who wears pink shorts. Why? Why? There's no problems with pink shorts. This just comes off as somebody who's insecure in their masculinity and is scared of pink shorts. That's the only read I get from this.
Somebody needs to be scared of his snaggletooth that he has up there in the bottom row. Shit looks like it's gonna be good enough to open up a can.
Anyways, he has a story attached to this video about somebody he saw wearing pink shorts, so let's listen.
I remember back in September, I was waiting for the bus out in Barrington. I seen this guy walk in, and he wore pink shorts. I turned to him and says, "Morning, pink shorts." Then he turned around and had a big smile on his face. Now officially addressed as pink shorts.
Okay. Fine by me. Go ahead. Why is he acting like this is supposed to be an insult? He's genuinely working himself up while saying all this over nothing, over pink shorts.
I will address him as such, because I already know the deal with men like this. They are a BETAMALE.
Beta male in the big 2026, in the grand 2026 is...
Now look, I'm not here to throw strays at everybody who has crooked teeth, because apparently everybody in Europe has crooked teeth. But just saying, some of them look like they could use them as can openers, or they wouldn't be the safest to kiss.
I just didn't think people used that word anymore, genuinely. I mean, I get saying it ironically as a joke, because it's a funny joke, you bait them out, but I even just cringed myself out by saying it as a joke. Genuinely, who's saying that word in 2026?
There's nothing masculine or alpha about men that wear pink shorts.
Okay, can you do 50 sit-ups? We'll see. Lord Babylon, if you're watching this video, record yourself doing 50 sit-ups. They should be easy as
He will die.
fuck for you, since you're like masculine as shit.
Me personally, I have never, not once in my entire life, have I ever wore pink shorts. And I never will.
You know what Lord Babylon is? He's the kind of guy who would bitch about having female security, and that female security guard would beat the absolute brakes off his ass.
Like, how does he expect us to react? Who are these videos for? What's the target audience for this? I'm confused.
Men that wear pink shorts are untrustworthy. And don't even get me started on men that wear pink pants. You're welcome.
Thanks so much for the informative lesson, Lord Babylon. Yeah, so pretty much all of his videos are like this, where he's just projecting his insecurities onto other people for content and then calling it dating advice while thinking he's like actually helping people, when in reality, he's just projecting insecurities. If you want to wear pink shorts, wear pink shorts. Fuck what Lord Babylon has to say about them. Matter of fact, I feel like you should really only be wearing the clothes that you like. You know what I mean? Like, fuck what anybody has to say about your clothes, for that matter. If you like what you're wearing, that's really all that matters. I mean, you shouldn't be dressing for other people at the end of the day. Anyways, we're gonna go on to Lord Babylon's next lesson. The first one wasn't that good. I can't say I learned anything other than how to be more insecure. Let's see if the next one's any different.
Marrying this goddess. Yeah, nobody fucking cares. Like, dude, if rolling into pussy is the only accomplishment in your life, just say that.
Lord Babylon, why is it that when you see a man marrying his wife, you call it a man rolling in some pussy? Yeah, gag aside, this dude's clearly just an incel who hates women. I mean, that's like the same thing, but you get what I mean. You got this man over here.
You know what's messed up? Somebody like Lord Babylon, even though he looks completely different than somebody like Myron, is exactly the same person. You put those two next to each other, they couldn't look any more different, but they're exactly the same.
Who's posting about how he's gonna marry his wife, and then Lord Babylon just comes in out of nowhere like, well, I don't even want to impersonate him, to be honest.
Like, nobody gives a fuck about this.
Then why are we talking about it, Lord Babylon? Why are we talking about it then? You clearly care. You're mad as hell while looking at this man marrying his wife, and you're seething, and you're coping, and you're malding.
Like, yay, congratulations. She decided to settle with someone she don't like. Yay.
Lord Babylon, how do you know that she doesn't like him? Oh my god, holy shit. This is a projection of insecurity I've never seen before, bro. This is honestly scary. I mean, if she agreed to marry him, then she probably likes him a little bit. Like, what are we saying, Lord Babylon?
Nobody respects a man that says shit like this. That's the most pussified thing a man could ever say.
So he has a problem with this dude calling his wife a goddess? Okay.
And your wife is drier than the Sahara Desert down there.
He's just fantasizing right now. That's all that's happening. He's fantasizing about what this other dude's wife is like down there. Holy fuck, dude. This dude's a creep.
Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
You know, a lot of hostility there. You know, Lord Babylon. I don't know how to do a freaking Jamaican accent. That'd be funny though, to hear it. But I don't know, man. There's this bad security problem with people. It's just, it never runs out. We never run out of enough people who still put this cringe shit on the internet. Because Lord Babylon, I think, is still active putting content out here on the internet. Somebody's still watching some of those videos on TikTok. And they just really have this grievance against women that they desperately want to sleep with. That's what the biggest issue is. And so, like, Myron has this thing with Ruby Rose. He hates Ruby Rose. The only reason he hates Ruby Rose is because Ruby Rose be denying his DMs. I think he then got blocked, and that pissed him off. You mean I can't pay $1 billion for that ass? No, don't want you anywhere near me. Even though Myron probably still wants some man cheeks out there, something about Ruby Rose really gets him going. The same thing with these other red pill losers. A lot of these people are the exact same way. They will talk themselves out of smashing a woman because they will just come up with ridiculous reasons as to how she's going to be some type of blood-sucking succubus.
Don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. This is a struggling incel who's clearly very insecure and very lonely. Okay, holy shit, that was a lot. You can really sum up this one video of his just with one sentence alone, and that's that he's jealous of this couple. And I guess his reason for why he even posted this in the first place is because he had a problem with this other man calling his wife a goddess. Brother, you're not in the relationship. It's not your place to comment on what this other dude's saying about his wife. Like, what? Who is genuinely taking advice from this man?
I don't know. I don't know who would take advice from the Temu version from Big Ed from My 90 Day Fiance. That's what he is. He's Big Ed and Walmart brand. Great value version. Kmart.
Scrolled through his TikTok account and I can't find a single picture or video of him with another woman. Yet he's out here trying to coach men on how to date and how to treat your partner. Lord Babylon, we don't see you with a partner. So where's this dating wisdom even coming from? Also, I'm not gonna lie. If I ever made a post about how I'm gonna marry my...
Okay, yeah, honestly, you know, it's messed up looking at this photo. Lord Babylon might have a point. He might have a point. I don't see these people being together. First of all, she don't even look real. She looks effed up. She got the cat eyes, then had too much surgery. Hell, this guy looks like he's on his way there. He either has a lot of money, like he finds her hot because this dude is apparently chopped. You know, look compared to what she might be. Because I'm guessing these people probably in their like 40s. You know, something like I'm hoping they're at least in their mid 40s. Yeah, she's not like pretty. Nah, I don't see it. Like this is just too much. Like, I guarantee you, she was probably better looking before she did all this shit. Before she did all this, she was probably like, damn, I see what you got going on here. I mean, she got assets. You know?
My wife, and then randomly out of nowhere, Lord Babylon spawns in with a video talking about my wife's vagina.
Okay, just that's a whole mess. I thought that you were saying something completely different at first. It said I might have to pursue a minor, and why? And I was like, wait, what? Okay, never mind. And why this guy's named that?
I might have to dox Lord Babylon. About what Lord Babylon was actually saying, he didn't like how this man was calling his wife a goddess, which is such a who fucking cares, Lord Babylon? He can call his wife whatever he wants to call her. He loves her. He obviously is attracted to her. Like, oh my god, bro. The fact that I even have to describe this shit pains me. Lord Babylon, when you're in a relationship, you tend to call your girlfriend or boyfriend a ton of different complimentary names, like goddess, queen, beauty, whatever. That's just stuff that happens in a relationship. Anybody who's ever been in a relationship already knows this. Like, you call your girlfriend or boyfriend, you call your partner a complimentary name every once in a while. Anyways, he's 0 for 2 on the lessons so far. Lord Babylon.
Poncho just doesn't understand. You're supposed to neg these women whenever you possibly can. Never give them compliments. You must suppress their thoughts, their emotions, their feelings. You must make them feel small. You have to make women feel to the point that they have to have you in their life. They seek your approval. You beat them down that much emotionally. You got to get them beat down to the point where they're like Rita, where you can just start smashing chicks inside the house, and she's just like, that's what he's supposed to do, right? Wrong. Now, also, Rita might actually be in on that stuff, though.
I'm not getting the hype. You might need
No,
to switch
don't have to delete it,
professions. I
Jess.
don't know if being a TikTok dating coach is for you, but I won't give up on you just yet. We're gonna watch one more of your lectures.
Would you be attracted to your husband if he acted like this when you came home?
Every day when I get home, here he comes. Look at him. Hey, Papa.
Hi, Bobby.
You come to help me?
I come to help you. What you got? Come on.
My pocketbook and my
I got dinner burning. Come on.
Oh, okay.
I can smell him from here. The moment he
can smell what? What? I can smell you from here. And it's sour.
came up to the car, I literally backed my head away from my phone. Because what the fuck was that? If I was his wife and he came up to the car like that, I would have my gun pointed in between his eyes.
What the fuck? Yo, this isn't even like funny anymore. Lord Babylon, you might be like a psychopath, bro.
That's how much I was repulsed by this fucking video. There is nothing masculine or alpha about that dude whatsoever. And let's face it, no woman finds this shit attractive. She sees him as a good little golden retriever boy. That's why she posted this video, to humiliate, emasculate, and exploit the man that she's with. Meanwhile, slowly putting herself back on the market. For all the men that are acting like this guy, I can promise you you're fucking done. You're welcome.
Yeah, this might be the worst dating coach I've ever seen. So, I think the elephant's already in the room. He clearly doesn't trust women at all with anything. He thinks that they're only out to cheat. Yeah, this is just like classic incel shit. I'm curious if like he's had a woman cheat on him before, or if he has like mommy issues or something, or...
No, he didn't have a woman actually cheat on him. He had a crush who just liked somebody else, and it broke him. I don't think he got anywhere close to getting to first base or lining up at the plate. I don't think he was even in the batter's box. Hell, I don't think he was even in the dugout or the stadium. Lord Babylon was at home. He wasn't even in the game. No EA Sports for his ass. His ass was out there watching, you know, from the sky, watching the other guys get the action, but he was pissed. He wanted those women that were down there, but he wouldn't pursue because they wouldn't look at him without calling the cops.
If, you know, he's just making these assumptions behind a screen when in reality he's never met a woman that likes him back. Who knows? I don't know this man. I don't know his life. Anyways, let's recap this video. The video starts off with a woman saying, "Would you be attracted to your man if he came home to you like this?" Then it shows a woman getting home from, I don't know, work, groceries, who knows. But her husband opens the garage and he's clearly very excited to see his wife. Hell yeah, this is normal husband behavior. And he even offers to help with whatever she needs help with. And both the husband and wife seem really happy in this video. But then Lord Babylon strikes. Low-key, I want to re-listen to what he said about this video.
I can smell him from here.
The irony of saying we can smell you from here while looking like a Discord mod who hasn't worn deodorant in 5 days. Lord Babylon, we can smell you through the screen.
The moment he came up to the car, I literally backed my head away from my phone.
This is the clip he's talking about, by the way. He said he had to back his phone up because the dude was gleefully running towards his wife. Lord Babylon.
Oh yeah, that, if you're talking about that, that's completely staged. It's gotta be, like, nobody has planned for that. I mean, maybe, I doubt it highly. But I mean, honestly, like me personally, I'm a lame-o who wants to have that kind of life one day. I don't desire a whole lot. Not anymore. Most of the dreams and shit that I had growing up, that's over. That's past. best thing I could do now is become a decent family man, and be a good role model for somebody. That's the kind of life I feel like it'd be fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? Just come up with whatever shit that makes you laugh and happy throughout the day. Find a good partner, find a good old gal, and somebody who actually rocks with you for you. And somebody you actually look forward to seeing each and every day, and they look forward to seeing you too. Now, there might be a day that eventually fades, but it's never a bad thing to have it in your life.
It's okay to run and be happy. Why is that a scary thing? Why do you have to back your head when you saw that? Like, what?
What the fuck was that?
It's a man happy to see his wife.
If I was his wife and he came up to the car like that...
Why is he putting himself in the wife's shoes? What the fuck? Why are you thinking about if you were this dude's wife?
If I was his wife and he came up to the car like that, I would have my gun pointed in between his eyes.
Yeah, and then you'd probably get arrested and put in jail for threatening to murder somebody. Like, this was not tough, bro. This was not tough. This was like the most cringiest part of any one of his videos, easily.
That's how much I was repulsed by this fucking video.
In summary, I think this dude definitely shouldn't be a dating coach, and if I'm being honest, he should definitely work on his personality a lot, and maybe shave a little. Might help. Also, I'd personally recommend therapy, But yeah, it's clear that this dating coach is just exposing all of his insecurities. Those insecurities being wearing pink shorts, running with joy, and complimenting a woman. And he's projecting these insecurities onto other people while calling it dating advice, when in reality, it's just the opposite. All this is insecurity. If you were an isolation coach, I think that'd be a little more fitting for him. If you want to make women stay away from you, Lord Babylon might be your guy. I think Lord Babylon could help you out a lot with that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. It helps me out on the algorithm. If y'all want to see more content like this in the future, then feel free to subscribe. And if y'all want to support me directly, then please...
Patreon, probably. Oh, podcast. Well, either way, shout out to Pancho. He has a lot of subscribers already. I mean, he's been on the platform forever. Shout out to Garuda Legends for the $20 super chat. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I believe in everyone, males and females. I'm not really sure what you mean by that, but I believe in all people too. So I was I don't know if that's like an innuendo or no. My brain's in a weird place, it's always in a weird place, though. I guess I can't say much about that. Well, no, I mean, hopefully y'all enjoyed that video. I don't know. I guess I could go down back to YouTube and just see what's in my algorithm. What do we have down here? I'm always curious to see what pops up in my algorithm, especially based on what I've been seeing. It's that sounds suggestive. Let me see here. But I might do one more bonus video dissecting the gender war. You know what? Let's go, Torian. 10-minute video. We can run through
Between
this
1915 and
we'll be
1970,
educated today.
more than 6 million black Americans left the South for northern and western cities. This was one of the most important demographic shifts in U.S. history, and it reshaped gender dynamics in ways that still echo today. For the first time, black men and women were navigating new labor markets, urban culture, modern dating scenes, increased exposure to white society, and rapidly shifting gender expectations. These shifts created both opportunity and pressure. For starters, black women gained unprecedented economic autonomy. In northern cities, black women had access to manufacturing jobs, clerical positions later on, of course, unionized domestic work, and steady urban employment. This meant women could earn their own money, often more consistently than black men who faced harsher discrimination in industrial labor. Economic autonomy created tension because certain aspects of black masculinity, especially in the provider role, were still being rebuilt after centuries of repression. Men sometimes felt displaced. Women sometimes felt men weren't stepping up, and both were responding to systems designed to pit them against one another. The new Negro woman, as it's called, and the rise of respectability politics came in the early 1900s, and they saw the rise of uplift ideology, or respectability politics, promoted by groups like the National Association of Colored Women. These organizations emphasize sexual morality, middle-class behavior, domestic order, and disciplined womanhood. But this often clashed with realities such as many black women were forced to work. Many households were dual income, and economic hardship prevented traditional gender roles. This created a contradiction. Black women were expected to perform femininity defined by white standards while surviving conditions white women never faced. This is the ancestor of...
Man, all while they were trying to keep white women at the house. That's the craziest part, though. Like, they just kept the white women at the house. Black women, y'all can go work. Also, make sure you're still feminine at the same time, even though we got you doing some manly shit. At least that was the expectation amongst black men, which I do get it. You know, like, we should, you know, I get you want your people to be feminine and whatnot, but damn, sometimes you got to understand the circumstances. I mean, back in the day, I think a lot of the men just understood the situation. That's why you saw these people booed up. They had spouses, you know what I'm saying? They had wives, children, sometimes way too many of them, but they had them. They took what was there. They accepted the women for being women, whether they were a little bit masculine, I guess, so on, quote unquote, but sometimes it's just based on your circumstances. I feel like people were more reasonable at that time. Nowadays, everything is just, I don't know, you got to put everything into a box, and it just seems really absurd.
Modern arguments accusing black women of failing to be soft or submissive regardless of structural barriers. Urbanization created a visible dating culture and new criticism. Northern black newspapers and magazines of the 1920s to 1950s, like the Chicago Defender and Ebony, frequently published debates about black male responsibility, black female respectability, marriage decline, domestic conflict, and gender expectations. Many modern YouTube-style arguments were already happening in print 100 years ago. Black men accuse women of prioritizing materialism, being difficult or disrespectful, and dishonoring the race through immorality. Black women accuse men of abandoning families, drinking and nightlife, lacking ambition, and mistreating women. These debates worsened when the economy collapsed.
Like everything does. Everything worsens when everybody becomes poor. Whatever issues that you had beforehand, when you're out of money, they get magnified. If y'all were already having relationship issues and somebody was abusive, well, when the money's out, they gonna get damn near murderous. You know what I'm saying? It's just that is how money really does affect folks. I hate it that way. You got to do a King 68 the Great video the way. Okay, in the future, I definitely will. I'll keep that in mind.
Economic collapse intensified insecurity among black men. Black men were often the first fired and last hired everywhere. Unemployment devastated their ability to provide, one of the few avenues of restored masculinity after slavery. This produced two cultural currents. The first one was men who internalized failure and withdrew emotionally. The second one is men who asserted hypermasculinity as a response to powerlessness. You still see these patterns today, stoic detachment on one side and aggressive or authoritarian masculinity on the other. World War II gave black women more social visibility, and backlash soon followed. During the war, many black women found better paying factory jobs, military auxiliary roles, and leadership in wartime production. But after World War II, the country pushed women back into the home. Black women couldn't fully return because...
Oh, dude, this was a dime piece back in the day. I bet she was absolutely top of the line. Shout out to Garuda Legends for the $20 super chat. As a black man, I absolutely 100% love black women. I just hit too hard. I don't know what you mean by that. Are you talking about smashing, or are you just making a joke about giving them that a good old backhand? Back in the day, everybody got the backhand. They got all sorts of compilations of white dudes just slapping the piss out of women. I mean, it's just crazy, but... boy, the disrespect towards women back in the day is just wild. It's like, why do people want to go back? They want to go back to times where you could just slap women across the face. Yeah, that was when you could really put them in their place. It's just like, I hate those people so much. A lot of times, like, when the hypermasculinity took over, all that was just insecurities. It was just insecurities dealing with the fact that a man didn't feel as manly as he should be because he didn't have money. Which is, once again, one of those things that ties into reality nowadays, where we do tie a lot of our masculinity to how much money we can make. And it does F with you. As a man, like, if you ain't making any money, you don't feel very good. I ain't gonna say you have to be rolling around in dough or rolling in riches or Scrooge McDuck, but you do need to be able to support yourself, and you would love to be able to support at least one other person a little bit if y'all were to get together. I mean, but I feel like hypermasculinity becomes a thing when somebody wants to be masculine and then they don't have anything to prove that they're still a man. They don't have anything to justify it. So they have to assert themselves with physicality. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the right way to do it, but I feel like that's the only way some people know how to express themselves.
As black men face job discrimination. This revived resentment. Yet men that would say, "You don't let me lead," in which women would respond, "You can't lead if the system blocks you." Neither side was the true enemy. White labor exclusion was. The state judged black families by white norms. As social workers and government agencies scrutinized black households, any deviation from white middle-class patriarchal structures was labeled as broken, dysfunctional, immoral, and matriarchal. This labeling intensified dramatically in the 1960s, but first we need to talk about the fork in the road: black feminism versus black nationalism. The 1960s and 70s were a turning point. This is where the modern version of the gender war was forged, especially through ideological conflict. The civil rights movement.
Now look, people be saying I look like Malcolm X at times. Do I? Do I look like our hero Malcolm? Yeah. One day. I wish I could speak like that though.
Movement was seen as male-led and female-powered. Although the public face of the civil rights movement was male, with figures such as MLK, Malcolm X, SNCC leaders, the NAACP lawyers, women were the organizers, strategists, logistical masterminds, and funders. Yet they were often excluded from leadership, sometimes silenced, and expected to follow male direction. This invisibility created early frustrations resembling modern complaints, such as black women do the work but get no recognition, or black men only value women when it is convenient. The rise of black nationalism heightened gender hierarchy. Organizations like the Nation of Islam, the Black Panthers, and other nationalist groups emphasized strong patriarchal leadership, male protection of the race, traditional gender order, and women's roles as nurturers. These ideologies were partly a reaction to the emasculation of slavery and Jim Crow. They attempted to restore a sense of power and unity, but they sometimes reduced women's roles or dismissed their autonomy. Black women who challenged these structures experienced misogyny within activist circles, a truth many would later document. The birth of modern black feminism, with women like Bell Hooks, Frances Beale, Claudia Jones, Audre Lorde, and the Combahee River Collective, argued that black women faced a triple burden: racism, sexism, and class oppression. They criticized not—
Look, this is the part about black women I just don't understand, what some black dudes just simply don't understand. I don't understand how they can't look at some black women and understand they're going through all of this shit. We go through it, they go through it, plus one more layer, being a woman. People are like, that's not that big. It really is that big a deal though. To some people, can y'all not tell the way people are trying to take away women's rights now? Hell, they're trying to take back women's rights, blacks' rights, just minority rights. They're trying to take it back. They're trying to take everything back to the 1950s. Bad times. But what video is this, Anthony? Let me see. It's, Dissecting the Gender War Among Black Americans, Part 2. This is by Torian. But what? You were talking about that chick, or what? Were you going to go goon now? Be careful. Is that why you want to know who it is? I'm just messing.
Only white feminism for ignoring race, but also black male activists for sometimes replicating patriarchal oppression within the movement. This created a fracture. In some circles, black men accuse black feminists of betraying black men, aligning with white feminists, and participating in divide and conquer tactics. These are the same accusations thrown around today in manosphere spaces when black women discuss misogyny or gendered violence. Black women were not rejecting black men, they were naming reality. Black feminists documented issues that still exist, such as domestic violence, economic exploitation, dismissal in activism, hypersexualization, and the expectation to unending labor. But because America already pathologized black families, these discussions were weaponized against the entire community. White media turned black feminist critiques into black men are oppressors, black women don't respect their men, and black women want independence from their men. This was not what black feminists were saying, but distortion is part of the gender war's weaponry, and then came the explosion that still shapes gender debates today. Daniel Patrick Moynihan.
What would Anton Daniels do? Oh, he would have just committed genocide amongst all the other blacks except for him. He would have just saved the rest of the world for him and the rest of the whites, so he can bathe in some semen. Look, hey, Miss T, this channel didn't start streaming live until like 2 weeks ago. So, this hasn't been a thing till now. Also, shout out to Ken Jasper for the $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The white sociologist working for the U.S. government released a report called The Negro Family, the case for national action. It argued that black families were failing, matriarchal households caused poverty, black men were too weakened to lead, black women were too dominant, and the community was pathologically matriarchal.
Man, first of all, this
report
poster
wasn't
is
neutral.
absolutely wild. The case for national action, the Negro family. We need to eliminate them. They're starting to get strong, you guys. This is why Dragon Ball Z is a direct reflection of black society. The fear. The slave master Frieza oppressing all the Saiyans and the blacks. And guess what? He decided he had to get rid of them because guess what? We were going to rise up one day and take over the country, which is what those people who lead us right now fear the most.
It was political, and it was very political. For starters, it blamed black women for a problem created by structural racism. Instead of addressing job discrimination, housing, segregation, incarceration, and systemic poverty, Moynihan said the core issue was female-headed households. This cemented the stereotype. Black women are the problem. The second thing it did was shame black men as failures. The report said black men lacked ambition. They were not capable leaders. They had become biologically and sociologically dysfunctional. This validated white narratives and created shame among black men. The third thing it did was create distrust between black men and women. The public interpretation became, for the men's perspective, the government says women run everything and men are useless. From the woman's perspective, they would say the government says our households are deviant and it's our fault. This is the intellectual birth of modern talking points like the black family is broken, black women won't let men lead, and black men are weak and don't provide. After the report, policymakers doubled down on policies that push men out of the home. Following the Moynihan report, welfare programs were implemented with rules that punished black families. The most notorious was the man in the house rule. This rule said if a man lived in the home, the woman lost benefits. This effectively encouraged the removal of black men from households, and social workers conducted surprise inspections to ensure no man was present. This policy incentivized women not to cohabitate with men, criminalized black fatherhood, reinforced the idea that black men were unnecessary, and created stigma around women who accepted aid. These policies laid the foundation for modern arguments like the system replaced black men with welfare, black women chose the government over black men. Both statements oversimplify the truth, but they come from this era. At the same time, black men felt shut out of the economic system, ashamed by dependency dynamics, forgotten by institutions, and emasculated by policy. Black women, on the other hand, felt judged, unsupported, blamed for poverty, and expected to survive without any help from the black man. This caused the wedge to extremely widen.
Oh, damn, this video's over. Okay, what timing? But see, this is why I hate Black MAGA. They just act like none of this is part of reality. None of this exists. That's not real. Redlining ain't real. Systematic oppression ain't real. They just talk about today. You can't talk about today without talking about yesterday. But they never want to have a conversation about yesterday. It's sort of like Not So Erudite had a debate with Woman Propaganda. And she was talking about how, or he was talking about, well, you know, whites, we're just not that violent people, right? You know, whites, we just don't ever commit violence. And she, who's also a white woman, was like, oh, really? Are you sure about that? Do you remember like the old slave postcards? And then she showed him the old slave postcards where they used to put up hangings and lynchings of blacks on the postcard and pass that shit around like it was Pokemon cards. Hell, they probably had trade value on those bitches. And you know what? They did it out of sport and fun. And she was like, seems like white people can be pretty violent to me. He didn't want to look at the postcards because he already knew how bad it was. They just want to erase that shit in the back of their mind. Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up. You can't just not bring it up. People want to erase the past. Act like it never happened. It's like somebody who was exonerated for killing somebody. They get out and they no longer want to revisit that situation. I kind of get why, but you did do it. Don't act like it didn't happen. But that's what a lot of people want to do. They want to mask this stuff up. So like the guy who's back in this photo here, I'm trying to think. Like this whole like poster is just wild. And the thing is, I grew up around a lot of white people and I got a ton of white friends. and they would just hate this guy. They would just hate this guy. They would want him on that tree way faster than he could get one of us on that tree. And that's why I really try to look at many things from like a really somewhat balanced point of view. Like, I understand the world is set up the way it is, but not everybody looks at life the exact same way. That's why you have Black MAGA. You know what I'm saying? That's why there are white people that are good. This guy, hell no. This is the Antichrist right here. But it's just, I feel like a lot of people, if they want to have genuine discourse about reality, history, and the way the world works, I'm cool with you. But as soon as you want to start denying reality, facts, and what has really happened, or having any nuance in conversations, I can't F with you. It doesn't matter who you are. I can't. Now, I ain't gonna do that. That's petty. This video's over. I was sitting here thinking, I was like, the guy made a video on me the other day. I was like, we can show, but no, I'm not gonna put him on blast like that. I'm not gonna put him on blast because he still follows his channel, and I want him to actually grow as a content creator. And I feel like if I played that video, it would go south. So I'm not gonna do that. But thanks. I really appreciate it. How many people we got in here? We still have 50 people in here? Wow. Dang, I did not expect to have this many people still in here. Destiny and bro swear this. Facts. And the things I like Destiny, I don't know. I haven't listened to a whole lot of Destiny. I'd have to ask Elijah on that one because he listens to a lot more Destiny than I do. But a lot of these people literally, they try to make these debates and they can't see. It's sort of like the whole BAFTA situation. Now look, the BAFTA situation was really effed up. Michael B. Jordan, why do I forget the brother's name? He was in Sinners with him. Oh my God. And he's been in a billion movies and I love him as an actor. Either way, it sucks that they got called the N-word like that. And there are black people who have the same tics with Tourette's. The N-word tick, the F-word tick, bad ticks. I don't understand the sickness. I really don't. Because it doesn't make any sense how, like, being bipolar or having Tourette's will just turn you racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? So your brain is just psychologically, like, I mean, it's just wired for you to just say these things? That part is just hard for me to understand. I have a hard time wrapping my mind around it. But I do understand that people legitimately have these issues, and I've seen them in real life, and they cannot control it. They try their best. And some of these people get to the point where they really do think about ending their lives because they cannot control these tics. So I try to have a fair and balanced point to it. But I also get the part of people who are like, man, that's some old BS. But I also don't want to just be one of those who's reactionary and just says, well, that guy was being clearly racist. Or he wouldn't have had that thought in the back of his mind if he wasn't racist. Dude, we all have some effed up things in the back of our minds. We just don't say them. Mostly because we don't have unnatural impulses that make us do it. Like if I was in a room with Anton and I had unnatural impulses, I might say a lot of crazy stuff. I don't want to make too many excuses for homeboy because it still sounds ridiculous. And then I'll almost end up in a category with Anton. So I'm just going to probably pause there. But I just think that situation is wild. Tell me what y'all think about that situation. I mean, I feel like it's a little bit more nuanced than, well, the guy was racist because he said the N-word. He might very well be super racist, though. Like, I'm not going to throw that out the window and act like that's not a possibility. That's the part that kills me, though. It's like the other side would be like, dude, this doesn't prove that he's racist. It doesn't prove that he's not. Just saying, it doesn't prove that he's not racist. But yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this video. I got to get some stuff chopped up. Thanks for sticking it out with me, you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm just glad that today kind of worked out so I could actually record and do this with you guys. It's been fun, and I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. It was really odd. It wasn't the most, normal stream that I've had, but it is what it is. But we'll do it again at some point in time.
Again!
But see you soon, guys.